Hello everyone and welcome to another tutorial with Zenphi. As you can tell by the title, today we have a very exciting video which I think will be useful for a lot of different clients. This is one of our most common use cases where customers want to be able to take a certain system they use, be able to extract data from documents they receive in that system, and then send data back. So for this example, we're going to be using Monday.com as you can see from the title. However, if you want to change it from maybe HubSpot for Slack, you're able to do that with Zenphi. So for this use case, what we're going to be doing is using Monday.com to be able to upload our patient information. So let's say you're a healthcare company who receives a ton of different information for patients, lots of files. So what I want to be able to do is just simply add the name of the client. We're going to upload their patient file, so anything they have, any medical forms, for example. I want them to be able to just press documents uploaded, and as soon as that happens, have Zenphi extract the data that we need from the documents. That way the nurse doesn't have to go in and manually look at the documents, extract the information, and be able to save a ton of time. Now for this example, we're going to be extracting the date of birth as well as any allergies they may present. However, feel free to add as many columns as you want. Now for our trigger, we're going to be using the HTTP trigger. This is going to allow you to be able to call an HTTP endpoint or webhook to be able to start your flow, meaning you can use another system like for example HubSpot to be able to initiate your automation process. And now since we're using Monday.com, let's go ahead and first find the item. In Monday, an item is this whole row. So to do that, I'm going to use the find item action. We're going to set up our connection to Monday.com, and then we're going to indicate the item ID. Once you have parsed the response from the webhook, you can easily find it by opening up Event, and you'll find it under Pulse ID. Once we have found the appropriate patient, we're going to go ahead and download their file. This is going to allow us to be able to use it with Gemini. However, to be able to take into account that not all files may be PDFs, we have added these extra steps that aren't necessary, but I do recommend adding if at any point you want to make sure that it's always a PDF. So essentially we're converting to base 64 and then converting back to a file, making sure the content type is a PDF. Once again, this is just to be able to take into account other file types, but it is not necessary. Then we're going to go ahead and use Gemini to be able to extract the fields. So here I am indicating that they need to extract the date of birth in this format, as well as any allergies. I'm indicating to return no allergies if there's none found. Once again, returning the output as JSON and parsing that extracted data. And as a last step, we're going to update all of these fields using update item. So we already have the information that we need. We have the extracted information we want to add. Here you would be able to see all of the columns that you want to update and status to done. So let's go ahead and run an example. So I'm going to go ahead and switch this to documents uploaded. If you've set up your automation with Monday, you'll see that it says an automation is running. And here we can see that it's going through the steps. It's extracting the data. We'll go ahead and refresh. It's updating the fields in Monday. And now as we can see, it has finished. It has updated the fields in Monday. So now if I go to Monday.com, I can see that it added the date of birth, their allergies, and it has changed the status. And just like that, as you can see, it's super simple to be able to start a Zenphi flow from a different system. Not only that, be able to return information to that same system super easily. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them down in the comments section, and we'll see you guys next time.